Vanditam Divyavani Kalajala Lokapala Vanditam Purnabhava Suryamana Purusham Purantakam Kalpadruksha Bhaktarashna Mostute Gajanana Vishwadeya, Vishwasuya, Vishwakarma, Nirmala Vishwartha, Vishwakarta, Yantra, Tantra, Pujita Vishwadeya, Vishwasuya, Vishwakarma, Nirmala Vishwartha, Vishwakarta, Yantra, Tantra, Pujita Chaturmukha, Chaturdoja, Sevitam, Chaturyagam Kalpavrukša, Bhaktarashna, Mostute, Gajanana Bhaktavasini Atma Vikasini Shubhadam Bharadam Namo Namah Vishwavandita Nirmalamata Sarvapujita Nirmalamata Brahma Swarupini Yoga Nirupini Shubhadam Bharadam Namo Namah Vishwavandita Nirmalamata Sarvapujita Nirmalamata Jum jum ke, jum jum ke, kare na. Jum jum ke, kare na. Swagata, swagata, swagatam. Swagata, swagatam. Nirmala se veere hamari. Nirmala se veere hamari. Nirmala sukh se kar he mari. Nirmala sukh se kar he mari. Ananda prema shanti sada hiraye. Ananda prema shanti sada hiraye. Swagata agata swagatam. Swagata agata swagatam. Sava karate swagatam. Sava karate swagatam. Aaj hamare desh padare. Mahakali Everbeek. Jum jum ke karate na. Jum ke karate na. Swagata agata swagatam. Swagata agata swagatam. Pujavara Mataji Darshana Bhagat. Pujavara Mataji Darshana Bhagat. Bharate Swagata Dil se Gagat. Bharate Swagata Dil se Gagat. Prem palo ke mala pae rate hain. Prem palo ke mala pae rate hain. Swagata agata swagatam. Swagata agata swagatam. Sava karate swagatam. Sava karate swagatam. Aaj hamare desh padare. Shri Mataji apare chare. Jum jum ke karate na. Jum jum ke karate na. Swagata agata swagatam. Swagata agata swagatam. Swagata agata swagatam. Swagata agata swagatam.
बोलो जगन्माता श्री आदि शक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की
जय जय जय
It's a unique opportunity today to do Vishnumaya Puja because she entered into this house. We have to worship her. First we should know who is Vishnumaya. It's very important to know because in the Devi Mahatmyam she is only described as the incarnation of the goddess. Vishnumayeti Shabdita. She is called as Vishnumaya. But let's see who is she after all. This Vishnumaya is who? So Vishnumaya is the Kali, we can say, and is the daughter of Mahakali. She came on this earth and killed many devils and many Rakshasas to save the saints from their aggression. And she always acts in that manner to kill all the negativity of the world. She's very quick at it, I should say. And she knows where is the negativity and she tries to burn that negativity as fast as possible. Now the origin is like this, that this Vishnumaya was the daughter of Mahakali, who was created by Mahakali herself to fight these demons. But also she was given special weapons to do this work. But at the time of Sri Krishna, she was born as the sister of Sri Krishna. And instead of Sri Krishna being killed by her uncle, as you know the story is, she was exchanged. She was actually the daughter of Yashoda, exchanged for Sri Krishna. And this girl, little girl, was killed by the uncle of Sri Krishna, who became the lightning in the sky and announced that Sri Krishna has already incarnated and your destiny is in his hands and he is going to kill you. She told Kansa. So this is the Vishnumaya. Then again she took her birth at the time of Sri Krishna when he was the king of Dwarika, and she married, I should say, these 5 Pandavas, because she was Draupadi. There is a significance in that this is the one which joins 5 elements, and these 5 Pandavas represented 5 elements. And so she joined them as one wife because she's the one who joins all the 5 elements that have created this material universe. Thus, we have a relationship established with Sri Krishna. And Sri Krishna, as you know that, treated her as a sister. Now once when you know that they tried to insult Draupadi by pulling out her saris, it was Sri Krishna who helped her because she was his sister and such a powerful lady. She is also responsible for the Mahabharata. She is the one who brought food. She is the one who told that you have to fight these Pandavas. She absolutely told them very clearly that you have to fight the Kauravas and in such a way that they should be defeated, not only, but they should be destroyed. Because the chastity of woman is very important. And in India, anybody who tries to molest the chastity of woman is to be cursed, is to be destroyed. And this was a very great message of Mahabharata that only because she was insulted so much, all the war took place and all of them were destroyed. So this is the story of Vishnumaya. But as all the deities are now in Adi Shakti residing, she is on your left Vishuddhi, reflected. And the left Vishuddhi is very important because we have problems of our ego. And you really need someone to remind us that we should not have this ego to oppress others. So this reminder comes to us maybe from our conscience or wherever it is, you may say, from our upbringing, and settles down in our left Vishuddhi as the clouds of guilt. Also, as you know, Catholic Church and all these people, every religion starts saying that you are a sinner, and all this settles down in the left side of your Vishuddhi chakra. So the guilt is there. If the guilt is there, then it is there, she is sitting down. This guilt, when rubs against each other as the clouds in the sky, Vishnumaya gives you a feeling of burning. She burns the bhoots there, she burns our guilt, and also she removes our doubts about ourselves with her light. But in the beginning, in SahajaYoga, as you see, when the Kundalini rises, you feel always the left side, very clearly, the pain or sometimes the burning. And sometimes people say, Mother, why am I feeling such burning here when the Kundalini is rising? Because it's the Vishnumaya, she is trying to burn them out. This is one of our capacities, to burn. Some of them, like we can say, the water element can dissolve. Then the ice can soothe you down. But Vishnumaya is an element like electricity, which really puts you into proper shape by burning away your negativities. It's very surprising that this power of Vishnumaya is of the left side. And despite that, it has that fire in itself, that it can burn away the negativity bhoots on the left-hand side. Now let us see how we develop these left-hand side bhoots. It's very interesting because as we are dealing with Vishnumaya, we should cooperate with her and should not have any more pains about it. It comes to us especially in the West. I mean, in India, I don't think anybody feels guilty about anything. It's something that's very surprising. I've never seen any Indian feeling guilty. The reason is that if they have done a mistake in India, as it is, the culture is such that this is bad manners, that is bad manners, like that. Now somebody by mistake does something, then he can bear a grunt against that person. But he will never feel guilty that I have hurt that person or I have said something wrong or I should not have said. Because in the whole culture there is nothing like sorry and thank you. It's funny culture Indian is. There's nothing like saying sorry, and so much thank you also they don't say. When all the time saying thank you, then good morning, good evening, all the time. It's more sort of artificial thing for us. Even in Maharashtra, the women never even say namaste except to the goddess or to God or to incarnations or in the temples. They'll never say to some man namaskar like this. Just like this, or they might just smile, that's all. So it is because we have to only bow to God. Why should we say good morning to everyone, good evening to everyone? We should say good morning only to God. You see, that's the situation. So it is the way it is being done. Now, if you have done anything wrong, say in the East, in India as it is, if you have done anything in a way that you should not have done. So there are only two ways they deal with it. Either they will confess it and go, that person that I have done this wrong, now you can cut my throat, do what you like. Whatever punishment you give me, I am willing to do. This is the first thing they'll admit. That if you think that I have done wrong, you can slap me immediately. I can take up the slap. Supposing you say something rude to your father. It's not to be said, it's bad manners because he's elder. If any elderly person has been insulted, then it is wrong. Then you will go and touch the feet of that person and say, I'm sorry, I have said this and I hope you forgive. So the other person says, all right, I forgive. I'll give an example. We were in Russia and a little problem started between two persons. One was much younger and one was much older. SahajaYoga. So the reaction, I'm telling you how it happened. So the elder one came and complained at 2 o'clock in the night that this man said that you don't know what I am capable of. I said, really? That he should not have said such a thing to you. So I called that fellow, woke him up at about 2:30. I said, why did you say such a thing to him? You should not have said. He's your elder, you cannot say like that. Because he said that, mother, he talked to me as if he would talk to his own servant. He didn't talk to me in the way he should have talked to me. So I said this, but I said, despite that, you cannot say this to your elders. You cannot say like that. Yes, of course, I know I made a mistake, and actually I was not sleeping. I was not awakened. I was not sleeping. I was thinking I should tomorrow morning go and ask for his forgiveness and finish it. So I said, just now, immediately got up and got hold of his feet, and he said, now forgive me, because you were also too much of it. I said, I agree, that was my mistake, so you also forgive me. Finished. And in the West, formerly, it was not so bad also. What they used to do, supposing there's a quarrel between two men, they would use their boxing, box each other nicely, and everybody will box each other, finished. Nowadays you cannot box anyone, you cannot ask for forgiveness, it's too much of prestige, this, that. All these artificial things have made you feel guilty because you are supposed to do that. If anybody, it's natural. If anybody has said anything to you, you will just go and box him and say, why did you say such a thing to me? And that fellow will box you back and finished. Was a very common style. You see in all these old American pictures, you see all this. I've seen it all the time. So, let the Indian musicians can come this side. Idhar aa jaye, idhar aap log. But this guilt business has come because of sophistication. I used to think, why do they feel guilty for everything? First is sophistication. First reason is because you cannot go and say somebody, oh, I'm sorry, I've said this, and please forgive me, and another person may not even forgive. So, this is due to sophistication and no communication. There is no communication. I mean, in a country like India, people will fight, and next day you will see them hugging each other. It doesn't last long, very much. But if there is any sort of a very big problem between the families or some uncertain ancient one, then they'll keep it up. They will not talk to that person, they'll keep that distance, they'll keep it all the time. But here it is not so. Superficially, they meet everyone. Superficially, they talk to everyone. But inside, they have that guilt. So because of this superficial sophistication, what has happened? That we suffer from this left Vishuddhi. And then Vishnumaya gets angry. That's why most of the people in the West I've seen have left Vishuddhi, and even I have got it from you all. It's like that. So it's nothing, it's artificial, it is mythical, nothing to feel guilty about. After all, if you had done anything wrong, you would have been in jail. You are sitting here. So how can you be guilty? So this guilt business has killed our growth in SahajaYoga very much, I know that. So first of all, how to overcome your ego is the problem. Ego is there, and when you see your ego and you cannot say that you are egoistical, you have to put the result of that as a left Vishuddhi. So the first thing you have to do is to see that you have ego. Alright. Then you stand before the mirror, separate yourself from your reflection, and start telling off your own reflection. What do you mean by having ego in yourself? You are a SahajaYogi, you have no business to have any ego. But if you have the guilt, you will never see you have the ego. You will just feel the guilt but never see you have the ego. And that's how ego remains and the left Vishuddhi also remains. Both things can be easily conquered if you face yourself. Just see yourself, this was my ego. Yes, why should I have ego? Now there are ways of removing all these imbalances within ourselves through SahajaYoga. It's not difficult. And has been removed. So you know right side, left side is so simple. SahajaYoga is just movement of your fingers and hands, that's all. It's not a thing diagnosis where they take out your blood, take out your tongue, take out your eyes and declare that you are healthy. It's not that way. It just, you can feel it, that you are alright, you are in balance. Once that balance is established, there is no problem with Vishnumaya. So this Vishnumaya, who was the sister of Shri Krishna and later on came as Draupadi and all that, is today also existing in this light. And in your left Vishuddhi. But people do not want to see what's wrong with them. This is the big problem. Like in York, they had a church where a bishop of Durham, useless fellow, he declared that Christ was an ordinary man and he could have been a homosexual. Can you imagine such a thing to say? I mean, even to hear is too much. And we should make some experiments. We should find out through some discoveries. Can you imagine such a hopeless thing he should say in the church? So, when the whole thing was ceremonial, he said it. Then our Archbishop of Canterbury, who's another one, was so enamored by the new discovery of this fellow that he honored him in a church in York. And then after the thing, the whole thing was about to be over or something, they saw lightning looming around the church, around it. When all the people were out, this lightning completely fell on that thing and destroyed the whole of the church, except for the lower part. Now, instead of seeing that what they did was wrong, what they said that, see, look at the grace of God and the grace of our faith, that the lower portion of the church was not burnt. Such an explanation to be given. So then explanation comes. I have seen it's very common here because mind is very intelligent here. I did this because I thought like this, I thought like that. Always there is an explanation for everything that you did wrong. I thought like this, but why did you think like that is the point nobody wants to say. If you think, why did I think like that? So this is an escape from the assertion of your ego that has harmed others, or also it has harmed some cause. It's just an explanation. And people wriggle out. Actually, there are so many wrigglers. I have seen, like Mr. Waldham. They just wriggle out of all the problems they have created, all the bad things they have done. I mean, somehow or other they know how to wriggle out. Because this method they have developed is to just to say something that would somehow or other give them a little capacity to escape. But they don't want to face it. So now, we have to understand that we must face it. I know SahajaYogi also says there are certain whom you tell them now why it has happened. I thought this way. But why did you think? You should have seen the vibration. You are not on the thinking level. You are now on the vibration level. Why not use your vibratory awareness? I thought. Once this I thought comes in, your attention is on something that is mythical. The reality is that you have committed a mistake. All right, admit it's a mistake and it's to be corrected. Now take a car. Now there's a car. If the car gets out of order or something, the car doesn't think I thought, does it? And we also don't think that the car thought. Never. What we do is to correct the car. Finished. If you have to drive the car, we correct the car. In the same way, this mind, which says, I thought, should on the contrary correct itself. So this sentence of I thought should be out of the language of SahajaYoga. We don't think, we are in thoughtless awareness. And then things work out properly. When you start thinking that I think I am responsible, finished. When you start thinking I am not responsible, it's all done by God. I am not responsible for anything. If some mistake is done, it's God's mistake. Let him have his left to shooting. But I haven't done anything now. But when I say I thought, means I take the responsibility and I create my own problem. So to take a decision, you should be in that state of thoughtless awareness. Many times I see all these things happening like a drama around me. I keep quiet, I say, all right, everyone all right. I take the consensus. But whatever has to be done is done according to God's will. But it doesn't amaze people now, it used to once upon a time. Because it corrects people, it is fruitful, it achieves results. Ultimately now they have accepted that whatever mother decides is the best. But I don't decide actually. To be very frank, I don't do anything. But I see it so clearly, so evidently that this is the right thing one should do. So why do wrong things? That's how you have to develop yourself, to get over this problem of Vishuddhi. But Vishnumaya has to be worshipped, has to be really remembered every day, because that is a common failing in the West. Now, if your Vishnumaya is bad, angry with you, then what happens? You go on adding guilt after guilt, guilt after guilt, guilt after guilt. But all the time if you are alert and keep your Vishnumaya intact, then what happens? That she looks out. She doesn't allow any guilt to come in. And then the enjoyment of your spirit is maximum. With the guilt, it's a dent in it. You see, I'm so happy, mother, happy, very happy, I'm rejoiced. And suddenly, what happened? Oh, I did that wrong. I've seen people getting upset for small things. I mean, of course, I have another life also. This sophisticated world. One gentleman was eating all right and suddenly, what happened? Oh, I was supposed to telephone to that person I did not telephone. But now you eat your food now. Why are you worried about that? So, no, I should have. But what is going to happen in any case? You have not telephoned, so you have not telephoned now. It's all right. Now you better have your phone and telephone. Then he finds out that the man was not there at all. He could never report him. So all these things are sort of, have created a kind of a norms in our life. And these are so artificial norms. Now, I was supposed to be there, say at this time. I am not there. So what? I should have been there. But if you are not there, what's the use of feeling bad about it? I should have reached the place. You will be surprised, the planes will wait, the man will wait, everything will be there, even if you reach 8 hours later. It would all happen that way. But first you must get in tune with this all-pervading power, with Vishnumaya. If you are tuned with her, then you will never find, it's all in front of you. It's just there, because remember, now you have entered into the kingdom of God. Just test it. But on the contrary, you are all the time using your human ignorance. And then you get deceived. Try to know that you are enlightened people. That you are not anymore ordinary. But unless and until you use your powers, what's the use? It's like some beggar, you put him on the throne. And when people come to me, begs, all right, Baba, you are made the king, why are you begging? So not to feel guilty is our religion. Not to feel guilty. We have to face it. If you have done any mistake, with open heart, we should accept we done this mistake, go and tell the person, do the thing, or correct it, or attend to it, instead of making a capital out of it and putting it down on your Vishuddhi. It is a very big problem in the West. And I was surprised that it is very much on the increase. And they are very proud. Oh, I'm so guilty. Better go to jail. All your pleasant temperament, all your joyous temperament absolutely gets poisoned by this guilt, which has no meaning. Neither it can help you nor can it help anyone. I am telling you with such earnestness because I know it's in the beginning, of course, all the SahajaYogis whom I have met in the West had this guilt. Also, Catholicism is another one. In the Catholic Church, you are supposed to confess. But I have seen Protestants very badly guilty. Protestants are no less. But in India, you take any Catholic or a Protestant, nobody is guilty there. As I told you the other day, a story my granddaughter asked me, Grandma, what sins you think I am committing? I said, what? I didn't commit any sin. But can you tell me if I am committing any sin? I said, I don't see any sin in you. She said, but you know, in our school they asked me to confess my sins, so what should I confess? I said, what will you say? Oh, only thing I ate 2 ice creams. I said, go and tell them. So it's so stupid as that. If you see the point, it is very stupid. And this stupidity SahajaYogis should not indulge. Keep yourself happy. Makes no difference whatsoever. And sometimes I make mistakes, like suddenly I don't know why Aristotle I confused with Tolstoy. I don't know why Tolstoy came into my mind, though I don't think Tolstoy was anywhere near Aristotle or Aristotle was any near like that. But I did commit mistake and I've been thinking why it was so. Still, it is very important. Even these people, you see, when they are described, like, you see, Aristotle had no influence on Tolstoy at all. It's a fact. He had no influence. Aristotle was a man with politics and all that, and he displaced all the philosophy on one side. Here is Tolstoy, who tried to show how a person can resurrect. I don't know if you have read him or not, but I think he is one of the great writers of those days. And the other day only I was comparing both of them, and I said, look at this man. He is absolutely different from Aristotle. Absolutely. Two ends of the thing, we can say. And how is it that he never read Aristotle? He was such a learned man, he never read Aristotle. Then I just felt it's a Russian mind. And Russian mind is extremely introspective. And this introspection was missing in Mr. Aristotle, who was taking out everything out of his head, the yarn, and putting people on the other line altogether of this politics. Plato was even in a way worse than him, but this one is another. So Socrates was finished. And Aristotle became everything. But because I have been judging both of them on their merits, that how is it Tolstoy? Because Tolstoy was a born realized soul. So he saw life very differently. If you have read Anna Karenina, there they have shown this lady, Anna Karenina, carrying on with another man when she was a married lady, and her husband very tolerant, working very hard and all that, and could not give her sufficient time, so she thought she has a right to be romantic. And then at the end he proves that she was never happy. But her husband was very peaceful, very forgiving. But she was never happy, and ultimately she had to commit suicide. I mean, these are old writers who used to write like this, especially those who were realized souls. But if you give the same thing to somebody who is a modern writer, he would show that the husband committed suicide, not the wife. And that's what now we are in the modern times. And that's how we are, that we feel guilty for none of our faults. Here is a wife carrying on with another man. And the man feels that I am guilty because I am not so attractive, that's why she is carrying on with another man. And he commits suicide. It's not so. It is the wife who is wrong, not the man. So also there is a shift of guilt or wrong from one to another by our perverted theory. I have seen some men who are just like cabbages before their wives, especially in America. Just cabbages. I said, why are you such a cabbage? So they say, Mother, you see, it was our guilt the way we suppressed women. But why do you allow your women to suppress you? That's also wrong. So they allow their women to suppress them because they think their forefathers suppressed the women. I mean, doing the same thing. I mean, you are imbalancing yourself. Because we feel guilty. For whom? For your forefathers. I mean, they are dead and gone. You are different. Like that, we try to make ourselves guilty. It's a fashion, like dressing up in a funny way. All the time, try to find out what wrong we have done. It's a typical Western mind. And then you become les miserables. How can you be happy people? All the time you start blaming yourself, putting yourself down. All these theories and all those things that have come to you have just made you miserable people. Without going to jail, you are in jail. Now this I was telling you about the dresses. Now there's a 6 inches, this skirts have come. Now girls feel guilty if they don't wear 6 inches. So actually it is wrong to wear that, but they feel guilty that they are not wearing. Because these are funny norms we have created, that whatever the entrepreneurs take out, we should be slaves to them. Immediately we should start throwing away all our clothes, take new style, another style. It is in Paris, something comes up, everybody should. On the contrary, if India, anybody starts such tricks, they'll never accept. Get lost. We don't want all this nonsense. So, by that we throw away all the tradition which has grown us to this level. All our traditions we lose. Because these entrepreneurs are working on us, we are playing into their hands, and all these people who are putting their yarns every day, all kinds of theories coming up from all over, we start accepting. If we do not accept, we feel guilty. It's very surprising how people accept nonsense. That's a very painful experience of mine when I went to America once, and there was a little child of 8 years. And she said he takes drugs, the mother. I said, really? I felt so shocked. I just took the child to my heart. And I said, why do you take drugs? So he looked up at me. He said, my mother never hugs me like this. I asked her, why don't you hug your child like that? She said, because I'll develop a guilt. I said, how? According to Freud, it would be a guilt. Now Freud is dictating that it's a guilt to hug your child. So you develop a guilt. So from where is it coming, this guilt to you? It's from these books that you are reading, these useless people who are guiding you. They have no character, they have no sense, they have no idea of reality, and that's what you accept as Bible, then naturally you will be guilty. If a little coffee spills in a party, oh my God, then I think you are worse than a criminal. Or else somebody's carpet is spoiled, then of course, you should go to jail immediately. More on very superficial things, these norms are made. On very superficial behaviors, these norms are made. And then you start feeling guilty. You don't feel guilty that you are a racist. You don't feel guilty about the things about which you have to feel guilty. That you aggressed people in America, killed thousands and thousands of people, millions of people there. Nobody feels guilty about that. Or you dominated the whole world. Nobody feels guilty about that. You feel guilty about things which are extremely superficial. But for Sahajayogis, they are so deep that if they have to feel really bad about anything, it is. I have to find out now what they have to feel bad. So I found out a simple solution. If you feel bad, please pull your ears, finished. Or if you feel guilty, just pull your ears and the Vishuddhi will be alright. It's a very simple method, just pull your ears like this, finished. But sometimes I find people all the time walking before me. Then I think, what have I done to them now? Even while dancing, they'll do the same. This is a bit too much for me to see these people feeling. So, SahajaYoga is not such a hard and fast rule about anything. You are absolutely free people. And you have to use all the freedom. Absolutely. You are not to sort of be guided by some hard and fast rule that all the time you keep your ears pulled down like that. Just to overcome this nonsense of your guilt, I said, all right, you can pull your ears. And every time I see people just pulling their ears. Yesterday one girl was wearing a big earring. And she was pulling her earrings. So I was quite worried it might... SahajaYoga is just a play, just an enjoyment. It is not this kind of hard and fast laws and regulations as you see. Because you are now innately religious. You've got your spirit to see. What mistakes can you commit? But where you have to be careful, you are not. For example, I say that before going out, please take a bandhan. It's a kavach. We call it a kavach. Means kavach in English, this word for kavach.
Protection. Protection.
That's rather, protection is abstract, but this is protection of the mother, is a concrete stuff. You see, kavach. So you take the kavach. Kavach is something you can say that people wear those armor inside. You see, that sort of a thing is kavach. So you must take that before going out or talking to somebody. That you don't do. Then I find I said, from where are you coming? Oh, mother, I went to see I went to a cemetery. I said, for what? Somebody died, so I went there. So did you take your kavach, And you can see all the boots dancing here on the head. This is the thing, that where you are, and then you pull your ears, what's the use? It's not just a simple thing, take your kavach when you are going out. It's so simple. I mean, in SahajaYoga, we don't have to do horrible rituals that people do. Nothing of the kind. Just take your bandhan in the morning when you are going out. And if somebody is argumentative, just give a bandhan. Anything little bandhan can work out so many things. But we forget that we have entered into the kingdom of God, and all the saints and all the angels and ganas are at your disposal. Now you have to believe in yourself. How am I to tell you that believe in yourself now? So this human nonsense of feeling guilty should vanish from every SahajaYoga. That's why today we are having this Vishnumaya. Now, for example, the Vishnumaya entered into this house. Because it's a new, dilapidated, old house, and it was a brewery. It was wrong to have the havan outside, they should have had inside. Not to feel guilty about it. But again, I think they will also. But this was wrong. So Vishnumaya saw that you had committed a mistake. She herself came and cleaned out everything. She didn't think that you should feel guilty. She thought these are children, still don't know anything about it. They don't know how many booths are inside. Better I go do the job. And she cleansed it. That's all. There's nothing to feel guilty about it. She knows better than you, naturally. So she's done the job. So a SahajaYogi is not like a person who looks as if somebody has died in his family. See, like a very serious, he can't smile, even if you tickle, he won't smile, he's so much above everything. That sort of a person is not. He's always bubbling with enjoyment and love and understanding and friendship, everything he enjoys. That's what is a SahajaYogi. If you ever feel guilty, now of course I better pull your ears, that's I would not cancel, because then it might be much more there. But ever feel guilty, you said, why am I feeling guilty? Just introspect. And this is the difference between Aristotle and Tolstoy. Yesterday I just realized that why I thought of Tolstoy instead of Aristotle. Now our Vishnumaya principle is to be always kept very alert, because it helps us in many ways. First of all, it helps us to pass the messages from your heart to your head. It is the one by which we integrate. Our heart and head is integrated by the Vishnumaya principle more than the Vishuddhi on the right side. Vishuddhi on the right side can create collectivity, can create understanding with each other. But on the left side helps you to keep a complete integration between your heart and your head. If there is a guilt, you just think of it and analyze it. It means that there's a struggle between you in your heart and your mind. Isn't it? Simple as that. If it was integrated, you would not feel guilty. And that is why all these artificial theories that have come, all these artificial yarn that you have read and all that, you forget it. You are a SahajaYogi and you have entered into the kingdom of God. Enjoy. That's all you have to do. But you have to get to that state of enjoyment and understanding that you are above all. Even you can't say that you should not be like Buddha who is sitting silently. Nothing of the kind. Buddha was sitting silently only when he was doing meditation. Otherwise, you have seen the fat Buddha with all the children and laughing Buddha. That means ego must laugh at itself. That's how this filth of this guilt won't be there. Just laugh at yourself. How I did like this. Laughing at yourself is a very good way of understanding yourself. Try to find out what nonsense I do. How I will. Like there's a lady. She always feels responsible for everything. No? I call her Girdhari, means the one who held the mountain Govardhan in his hand like that. She thinks she's responsible for everything. And I try to outwit her in all her responsibilities, just to make her understand that she's not responsible. And when she feels she's responsible, she's all the time accumulating this guilt in her. Because firstly, she's not responsible, and secondly, being responsible, she's definitely going to commit some sort of mistakes, and then she is going to take the responsibility of the mistakes and feel guilty. Then Vishnumaya gets angry. And if she gets angry, then you have problem of the left side. And left side is so important that it doesn't show, it doesn't express itself, but it is painful to you. Left side is your own. It is painful to you. It's troublesome to you. If there is ego, others are troubled. But if there is left side, you feel bad. So don't feel bad for anything. I mean, some people feel bad because they were late for puja. Doesn't matter. That's the time you had to come. Some people feel that they couldn't bring something for puja. Doesn't matter. I never say you didn't bring this, you didn't do that. I've never said anything about the puja. Never, even once. That you did this wrong, or you should not have done this wrong. Should have not. Gradually you all have learned. What was the need to tell you? Otherwise there would have been another big well of this guilt in your head. So you have to learn. You have never known pujas before. You don't know what puja means. You don't know anything of that kind, how it helps you. So, whatever was done, you are growing. After all, children, when they are growing, they do mistakes. Only my job is to protect. And that I am doing. But now don't try to destroy yourself by feeling guilty. That's why we are today doing the puja of Vishnumaya. She is Kali, who is the sister of Shri Krishna and who was Draupadi, who is the one who is all the time for our protection and for telling us that we should not feel guilty at all and enjoy life. May God bless you.